yenya countries na ometimi atop your groups are ometimi qualify edia call a FIFA World Cup. And so far officially yenya Egypt awa qualify, yenya Senegal, yenya South Africa, yenya Cape Verde, yenya Morocco, Ivory Coast, Algeria, Tunisia and Ghana. We mune 9 countries are so far omo the groups na your boy qualifies no mo top you ma qualify. But ken enra e group F. Ivory Coast share 3. Kenya entimi antika. And so we check how our Ivory Coast is ya qualifier. Keke. A qualification ye Ivory Coast near when you budget. Because ya share Ivory Coast national team Mekaye pass omo qualified ya ko omo first World Cup in 2006. Ivory Coast ebe bibrem hasen ya ombenya generation ye kasa country na oparady stars ye ko 2006 World Cup. Ivory Coast qualify for my first World Cup no. Na Africa has said arguably omna na ye country ye stars omu krebi from Ataboka, Didier Zekora, Drogba, Aruna Dindani, Siaka Tieni, Yaya Toure. And umpokro omo qualify for my first World Cup no. Ye unha omo struggle ye. Nakin shenu akwanya Ivory Coast efa so qualify ye. After a year omo 10 games, omen lose game. Omo win mu 8, a draw 2. Na die FM pokra wo Ivory Coast qualification ho ne say almost 25 goals man concede go hwe the performance of Gabon e was our group we mu ba wo hwe sa countries Ivory Coast no boy obi antimi mpokra amfa ball anto na tenema e kire wadwuma pa MS5 etimi aye with Air Cote d'Ivoire na say Ivory Coast national team no and if it is say MS5 be fa Air Ivory Coast national team na African Cup of Nations in finfim ho a and ye ka so won take Ivory Coast national team no. On manage ye edi omo J African Cup of Nations. That was omo third AFCON ometimi agye. Ema wiase nyina be ball na baso because no oye coach a. Obia nso hu da ye da say ye be ball tournament na wie ni ye ka coach a what African Cup of Nations a ni ye ball MS5 din. But me manage omo de omo J sa trophy no. We wasad de omo qualify edi akọ World Cup a one concede go. It should tell you the kind of job MS5 and Ivory Coast team no eye. And let's not forget, say, Wababa be the first Ivorian but the Ivory Coast are qualified for FIFA World Cup. Because 3 times are not previously qualify no munina no a foreign coaches. Omo first World Cup omo ko na Henry Louis, ye France ni. Omo second World Cup omo ko na Sven Goran Eriksson. Ana Sabri Lamuchi edi omo ko omo third World Cup. The only Ivorian waiting the Ivory Coast are qualified the FIFA World Cup. MS5. And so when the team e kro ma a team abeka se enshada nye team hu bebre by kwan oma fa so qualify na mefe making sure say omu 10 games omu winning 8 a draw 2 scoring 25 goals abro omu concede bi I think say MS5 in the boys no e deserve so omu team qualify e de ko FIFA World Cup nyame ya aduma next year be so e wo US Mexico and Canada oko the other games yenya South Africa so qualify from any group na ni nyina ne say after enra matches na bass no Nigeria win na South Africa so 3 Nigeria 4 so after South Africa win the match Nigeria so win against Benin no and ama team friend say South Africa opportunity say almost so qualify for 4th FIFA World Cup because previously no almost so 3 World Cups per anno metimi abo that was in 1998 omoko 2002 2010 omo host year and enra yenya South Africa also so etimi qualify by kin South Africa wa qualify no nipa ba kwa me pese me bona baso pan no mu coach Hugo Bruce sa coach no I believe o deserve a lot of credit from South Africa if it is so sha see so about Africa 2 national teams are Hugo Bruce etimi coach no national teams mienu wa Africa ni nyina odi o ma ye history the first national team o coach wa Africa na ye Cameroon. This same coach and the Cameroon edge 2017 African Cup of Nations. Sa 2017 African Cup of Nations or the Cameroon for J no. Na nkofo mpokra tepo Egypt under Hector Cooper say omna beji because at that time na Egypt 4 players are na ekura in 2017 World Cup. Na Mohamed Salah former na ekura no Trezeguet, El Nani, Abrante Fence Ramadan Shobi. No be him say in the final omo kwa Cameroon national team because Cameroon national team no na enye players are hu bebre Collins Fai Ngaju Basugogmo and Vincent Abubakar by coach a friend say Hugo Bros e manage Cameroon national team in 2017 e de omo ye record e the African Cup of Nations. Wasaba be for South Africa national team. Obefa ye no na South Africa national team na ba form. South Africa for AC akan pokura nipa na enkwahwe omo. Na aye din so betima perform at the highest stage. By papa ne ba ye no or the changes kakra bo national team nim. Obeye experiment kakra and stick it to a proper system. Leadership also ye, patience and a belief by ne what transforming South Africa national team. Or the African Cup of Nations in 2023. Ivory Coast. And the Omo di third. E ye nipa dodo na wanwa. Wasa the Omo qualified they call AFCON Morocco. Wasa the South Africa for asa qualify e they call FIFA World Cup. Abraham Pokra yesati Omo points. And it says South Africa qualify na. Open nipa baako e woso obo na baso pa na e yomo head coach Hugo Bruce na dwuma na waye with South Africa me kai pass 2 years ago an granting interview say so when me amfa South Africa for an qualify for World Cup on one kasa de dwuma ne beto ho e ma obi anyi nadi enti ene wetimi the South Africa team we qualify for the FIFA World Cup I think say coach no deserve a lot of credit and a few coaches one to me I make sure say enko mo doubting no Omababa believers and South Africa is here Kanya. Obi ehun say modern born was through all because of this coach Hugo Bruce me say o deserve a lot of credits. Uko Europe so World Cup qualifies ni because so Spain SF4 Bulgaria entimi anhye bi. Ye ball match ni wie ye no. Nipa baako ana ye say obi ebo ni din with Spain. Eye Merino because o say 2 goals. And after the game spotlight any dealing attention comment ni nyina na e Merino so far Oko Spain a group ni ma Merino as 6 goals and to Oko group here countries or more group there was goals kese pa was group Spain ya brantie Merino Ken I personally feel say Merino or your midfielder bo kra a soul of a striker so o si akanya who say yes or your midfielder obi anim by okra a soul of a striker. The reason why I make us ask me say ye can midfielders are omoye obstructive, ye beka so omoye midfielders are omoye combative, omoye omo bobuga and yedin a destroy player. Merino nya that type. Say o can midfielders so more deep a control game edemawa onye that typical deep lying playmaker. Say o can midfielders are ombet me divide the pitch into two no dominate here onye that type. By sa Merino ikin or yes, I made for this anytime Bia or Musia can over Bibiano, say obey box in Mubiani wing. Say, oh, see a kind of team air attack it. Now, or box in my only say, oh, yes, smart midfielder, or bet me I should go the amount. So outside the box, top thinking from Air Merino. And to say, what take care Brantiana? Mekaya pass Spain, edgy Euros, no. Rego no said it here, Germany. UEFA Nations League. Rego no said it here, to my friends, say Air Portugal. And now check a FIFA World Cup qualifiers she goes or say ne club Arsenal emu ye dene no e ya brand friend say Merino at the time na omu player say prepra no Ateta Yusun as a first number 9 na oma Arsenal goals no by no ye midfielder enti say wo twa brand ne ball any goals or sha woni say oye midfielder okra a soul of a striker enti osi akan a mimi woni say oye the Spanish Thomas Muller so watch Thomas Muller onambo nim nya so eseti obecho Merino no the Spanish Thomas Muller or a very good player by or yes our players are osi akanya for attention and fan so and so far World Cup qualifiers no or establishing who be actually say the finalist is Spain De La Fuente ediko a US Mexico and say Canada be actually say Merino beko and one day you be didn't come about a Spain national team a midfield de chrome no because eno amateur mo midfield no key players now will be but the players on use here still they were able to dominate and maintain almost structure no okay Portugal eno no mo GDA say after say Ronaldo say 2 goals no nan come ma qualify nan come the 2-1 e dia qualify ye be wie game na no ana brand e friend say e Soboslai e say go e equalize the man e ne country hungry e ma ne koye 2-2 ken onim say football e funny sport e to de bia e corona o free so ba no etimi affect you because a corona was no e ya kopie wo kro bi so a e be ye den pass obetimi agi major trophy e dia ma country and asa obeko major tournaments show be to say George Best e kro free so bo obebo wiase nyina by World Cup kra wan ko bi George Weah bo abebo nyina hwe ni kro free so ebesi there the Liberia ko World Cup ebesi there the Omaji African Cup of Nations adi kronta make us asem ne second abrante ne yefani Soboslai no onhwe ne form this season ana for club and country me players are and found one situation o omo ye ready say on be give you all this season Soboslai form won with Liverpool team no eto de bi mpokura the entire Liverpool setup no man koye ba obenya Soboslai at the end of the game no make impact okwa the national team maybe say players no about around them no omo nye top players by hungry for bobo awie no obe make sure so obe make impact ne ebu ne din if it is hungry by as a football country you hungry we produce a lot of top players obe to say Puskas Sando Kubala by metima catch say Dominic Soboslai no ken before so the football no be wie no obey one of the greatest players are hungry etimi produce because yes our players are enye ne club side in kwan this season say okoni de nebo number 10 obo make sure say obe give you ne all obe ma good performance yetimi de nebo central midfield area obo eto de bi mpokura ne club at the time na Liverpool here no right side no
okay.
etikin Dominic Soboslai ne die abrantie we no eye me ya country no free so no born now all born form no wom no anko wo countries are unim say with ease on be qualify for World Cup I wish say anka abrantie we me hu no FIFA World Cup or form club and country na
World Cup do baby answer say mrane sese bebo Kevedi enanka omakoto no akobadi ama
no atone dia baba
say edu baby a yentime sesa mra say wi ase kwa nanim say nema bebrebe tima sesa so obetimi ato 2 players
shebo kwalaske ye we betide dodge
obetimi ato 2 players Ghana dem say yetim ko 2 players over bi anka position mi bi de
emi nya striker
anka yakofo bi de na badadada Halan say onu dia wan obetimi qualify say they want me qualify wetimi ko fa ne player ti en fa ne say Isaac ne we mu say you carry some bi anka fa ba kwa ba okay to asoma me na me ayimra sisia
Merase ken maminchia awoshi kwa no fin pa na ye monkomo kakra ene minsam no mebon tew sam no doso na first of all maminchia say fi Liverpool aswoye na me din komo Liverpool a check kakra ene exactly 15 years e katono bro nka Liverpool echo administration and then 15 years Fenway for no at all Liverpool into a special day at the Liverpool pa. Now let me use corporate finance. I mean, Liverpool had the problem Manchester United had with the Glazers. You will be a friend of leverage buyouts. Leverage buyouts. LBO. Now, sa nkomoya midi between 2000 to 2008 wo baby. Na a system ni mu ye pa. And on a man for a technique man for fast to the toadie. Let me create a scenario for everyone to understand. Kinemen Oton ebia oka and a oton. And I may say you're interested in buying the car, but me nkute sika. But car minimum say me ta ebeboa me. And I makọ Kwame wa akọ jibosia. Tio, say Kwame, mami bosia, die ntia me catch us say Kwame, metimi atua bosia ne dia ma one say, hwe car na ma akọ to no me to a. Menya ho so mfaso bebre e de ebetua wo ka. And a Kwame di sika na de ama me. Kwame di sika na ma me na me de aba beto car no de free wunsem. Na je sam ya me sei, me nyi wan sei di ponto car no o. Me ni ji ade no, makwaje bosia na me de abeto ade no. It ya say o. Because I have not spent even 1 cedi. But me use to work no as leverage to get cash from the bank or from Kwame and Kwame di ama me na me de abeto. Inti me talk car ni wi a. Me beche car ni free wunsem na me da here taxi. Wiki bi ase ke baba na me de ama Kwame. Wiki bi ase inti me tetetete nyina wi a. Nkai ni nyina ye me mfa so. Na che say, when you so adwen e de nya japade. Brony say leverage buyout LBO. ɛyɛ no na Glazers for no de fa so to Manchester United ɛyɛ no ɛna nkɔfo no only Liverpool ansa na famwe for no beto Tom Hanks and George Gillett ɛno no mo fa so toy. They see potential in the club. We don't have the money. Then we use the club as a leverage to get loans from banks near the better. But no, you see, it is very dangerous. And one of my Glazers for any issues. Let me explain this. Here, Tom Gillett, money, George Gillett and Tom Hanks better club in 2007. Within a matter of about 3 years. Sika Omuji from the bank was 140 million pounds. After 3 years, now Liverpool for the car 350 million pounds from the Royal Bank of Scotland. Inti Adiana na obeto ya na one for the Sika nshim no. Ensan se ne Sika free club no mbenti no na eka eba. Inti Royal Bank of Scotland at Liverpool for ekojina court say Sika no so wentimi antua Mungu club no. Monfa club no administration announce say Muntoma on a bit near Sika. And no enema firmway for the BJ club no atoy. And firmway for no omu complete deal no on the 15th of October 2010. And the end 15 years exactly. Owners no they've gone through a lot. So papa, I remember very, very well say I'm a far club, no, a club. You see, the club was in a turmoil. Issues be brewo. Be 3, 4, 5, maybe 4 months after take on, no. I remember listening to Kineben, 31st of January 2011. Kinawoya story. And now they can say Fernando Torres if Liverpool echo Chelsea. That famous Monday morning story. Because that time, no, not those days, you know. You see, the news no konyana wa ken we are good. Because I remember that day, you see, that time na Liverpool issues be briaba fame we better club no fame way for we want to know the direction. Now Fernando Torres also the need have a bomb of a club with Marco. Into Conforno, they've gone through a lot difficult moments, but they've steered the club from turmoil today. Liverpool, one of the clubs are Omutimi and the clubs and Casino and Robbie shoulders once again. Fame way for no, they've done very, very well. They're tossing you. You see, Obiabit to me, I emotional about issues. Me sure say, they are to Burkina Faso no. Say a Ghana for and be emotional. You be cancer to say. But this is where I want to disagree with people. Okay, careful for the secular buyer March 2025. Now you have 4 games in the group stage. So none of the national associations they complaints. But what the media you say? CAF can bring a policy. You can disagree. You can agree. Name them. Say policy no man can want some one objective policy no. Now about 6 games after bringing the policy, I feel now about your complaints. I'm sorry. I will not listen to this. Emrano, careful for say at the Obia points in the check here, you are not being fair to Niger, Muna now more Eritrea, more group. No, Asama careful can doesn't this make sense? The arguments people are making say, hey, yeah, so Burkina Faso, when you're 21 points, Nigeria you're 17, yet Nigeria for qualify and you're fair. Really? If it is not fair, then say you can't pray your part there. Gabon. Necessary representing Africa or intercontinental championship. No, say so mo say the pray you on area because a bit me abase. Ye kwa bossa for team tournament no. Na Gabon for free. Are we being fair to them? Because when you're 25 points. Sesani e kanwa. If you want to go by people, fairness there. Mama Gabon for nko. The policy calf e di abano. De buy no. Who objections are canon tam afia ye be drew any na and a car for and ya bro master car for say won't me ko boss 6 games And I say, you check group in your name, about 10 games. Now, Obi group about 8 games. What say? The about 8 games, you know, one person want to know the same competition. How is that possible? Hey, young people down, Kakrasa, careful police, no, Obia Betimia disagree. Any day, it should be anywhere. Name them one can in Tamwa, and young friend of Abesu who come. They trust to be okay. When him say, Yeho, na say that she be Ubetimia your hinia, yet how do we see pa? For say we want to preserve you because if you say a jao, not the big year be the kwame and also the biaudi chebia, or any ya. Would you feel a becacunyano? Ken Patros asked him, we say, correct. It is say, oh, now you're this year partners obedi hinia. Yet how do we see them? Because a dear be a becacunyano. May come away, Eddie, see. Lamine Yamal come on so kakramenka se mincho ken he Lamine Yamal Barcelona fonim se obeye Barcelona hene Sasadia everything he will do he does everything he plans to do I will say Barcelona show interest in them meboa good na me feel say at this stage in central for ni nyai boy ni kakra. And I want to explain this, kakra. Okay. Say, Lamine Yamal, ye can, and I own down a girl a dim fan shrey. And what's now a cosun, a draho, no, or china or namakosia, no afaha, no afaha. That is wrong. But as I say, we're dedicating our bra body, more baba, kodia, I feel say, and no more. And Uncle Maya made what I say. You see, footballers so only or this 16, 17, 18 years, 19 years now or settle one nipa back one. It makes a lot of sense than rushing and going by different girls. And not see, and up to now, Vinicius Junior also he wants to settle down as soon as possible. And not only Virginia issue no or more can in them. What's I say or best settle down. The point is that say ye ko who say ebia asumesi. Yes, you said that she obebo bopa, but he's having multiple ladies there. Then in Central for me no more again say, "Ombetinya basem no be ababeka." But the Lamine Yamal nigga ye they say no, ekwaya kwem te say Lamine Yamal aka chewias wadan edi e de chewias ni nyina no say eyi a. Nti asem ye ni ho. And I know me te say Kylian Mbappe mame say, "Oni ne ba na kan say da be na ne ba na be settle." Mbappe Mbappe so che what as intino me say my men so try say Mbappe settle at least obe concentrate on the football. Lamine Yamal situation dey me enkane na my four na me nya adwe but say you way and what done di and a girl na de no coffee or the name back training na I think say it should be anywhere. Yet also be okay. Lukaku issue no kakrebi and metimi aka kakra. Hwe Lukaku onim Africa ye culture no on tiase. And I think say statements no unfair to the family. Me feel say onyobi mane church ni mu ya he will understand. Romelu Lukaku papa Roger Lukaku obobo Emma Krum Africa ha DR Congo those days ayi obo World Cup de maomo obo AFCON de maomo or a true and true African ni musuafo nyina o Kinshasa sisi America si inti Africa ye culture ne say bi so obi free one the body belongs to the family but Lukaku say on say abrofo ne ma no gusu eyo and as I say we throw papa na busuafo ne nyina de America say oh omo se bi omu pese omu bumi and papa free mu no and omu take advantage omu gigi misika but the Lukaku can say bi what they buy Africa a culture one it does not make sense say o papa free Africa ha we wu Africa ha say yentam say bi efunu no mfa free Africa mfa mra wo ho na wo sie no na busua panyi ba yeden na busua no so ba yeden near tam body need your bro so and I say me who fa but the body belongs to the family. It is say be so person yen wo ha and one say busia for be 20 ebusia panyin ne wo fa se ne bibia na we twa mo plane tickets no ma ba ho
look at capra crowd so for my baby
and there nti say onye sa just onu mom e free Belgium and I say baby o bia eba
look at so ma yen mfa because abusia panyin pan nyina
e mom fa de mfa
wa ma ska bia ma
and ono so ontimi so nti say ubeja unim baby ase bi ye do papa be
ntomo so on she free jim de
na nti kakra se ya o ba bia wa fa be $500,000 bi because oba on beje when they kid bicycle so for so only free because Lukaku no hwa on fie busua no because the papa say ngofo no monye ntie ngoho and as I say papa na free mu
o papa ka chawo say obusua fo ni papa ne fa
as and one on say
papa ni so free ni say no obi enkosie no
as what Lukaku akan was statement wa ma busua fo no kura buafu mo say be o me nipa bonfo nti say be o be say hu baby papa ba and one say oh ba we be $500,000 me what say because did your major ko all these years so more musical
into we no be
advantage ni nie so we dey say we assembly ni
o me Lukaku be we
on be gene brutal obia that's
okay
you ni shebre no ati
asemo o to de akoso no
personally na me expect say Benin ebe Nigeria that kind of competition because Benin had that kind of things are not a favor omo looking at the performance of my dine they were qualified in the baller on my ball any stage and on my baba bedroom omo no lead Nigeria at least getting a draw now can be putting in a better position than Nigeria for no or science who coach onim the Nigerian team and the coach in share crampo no be person will be pay back Nigeria for no but I know the kind of performance I who say Nigerians and they dine it was super adia ba ko e catch him and say there are countries are more talent and the quality till whenever they decide say do that kind of junction omuni here results than the other teams and as opponents na omo be pe kwan bia so no ma je results that was exactly what Nigeria and I feel say the game they played Benin worst game in this qualifiers me ma hwe and omo boy against Nigeria it was as if say Benin for the Kwampo more border and it is not because that they are that bad Debbie, it is because Nigeria only decided say omo here points and points no mo beje. No more points there was one player or your talking point or your talk of the town. Player na Victor Osimhen. Can me no be dia dance here say team be we are bia has that star manner or what quality emu ya den or the go to man. Emu ya den ma team na omo twa omani a onu nanim na be kwa akoto. And to be expected say on days a very difficult you have to stand to the test or rise it to the occasion and the team now boama point in the bar. Barcelona has a lot of quality in their squad or Frankie de Jong or Pedri or Rafinha last season the numbers and then the performance now what's for the child Lamine Yamal there but Lamine Yamal ni Barcelona team ni mo who's adie kese bia frame he because he's the go-to man. French national team the absence of Kylian Mbappe anytime they play ebetimi affect you because Kylian Mbappe jinamua he is the difference maker at the moment and na Portugal Igbo game Cristiano Ronaldo was on the field share omo ba ko na Ronaldo team yenu ni nyina ma omo Ronaldo was substituted in the 78th minute e free one mo ko no omo ntimi ankita lead ni mo amfanwie debi ema Hungary beteka no ema ni 2-2 the go-to man was out and Victor Osimhen born now or boy clearly and only idea watch me. Now Ken, there a confirm brand as we speak, he is the most important player with no disrespect to the other players. Our Nigerian Nigeria share qualifies and I say they played the first 4 games and no about draw no win. Nigeria ball Lesotho on any ball 1-1. Obo Zimbabwe omo ball 1-1. Obo South Africa ball 1-1 and was signs to ball Benin ball 1-1. First 4 matches of the World Cup qualifiers. Nini na omo draw ye. No munye a single win. Omo draw nini na no. Victor Osimhen all these matches emu bia ni ho obi. Nigeria nya the first win. Our the 5th game of the qualifiers mu against Rwanda. That was the first game of Victor Osimhen best ball man Nigeria. Omo win 2-0. Osimhen ne share 2 goals the man the Nigerian national team. The Super Green Eagles. 2 goals. Omo the winning here. Onu na share 2 goals na de ma omo. Again, Nansenya Omunya qualification then against South Africa. I was South Africa home. Osimhen wasn't present. Sa game is also still Nigerian team and share. Almost I so draw a 1-1 against South Africa. And clearly, the presence will park and so no. A brand tiane chere say time be a Nigeria ho akere no. Nigeria pro bi. So best stand to the occasion. Now why Nigeria every difficult moments in games no. Ono na the big player and the star man obey say Jumane Diama Nigeria. And yesterday's game was no exception. Kudos to the player Victor Osimhen or proving the worth. So you star boy, or you big player. On this Moya Dano, and how many here? Nigeria needed a win to the Bebo playoff, and he got that win for Nigeria yesterday by scoring a hat-trick. Moving on. Nipa bakwa me sure say na nipa do na doubt no. E woni coaching adwuma mu. Looking at adwuma na ye de hye ne nsa no. Ivan Gennaro Gattuso. Gattuso yo obi a bebia na Italy gina no. Personally, na me feel say Italy for coach the national team a hye ne nsa. E di say Gattuso. Because the Italian national team a very big team. And here obi or what track record. Obi an more konkan what prove beyond reasonable doubt. And sa near the Ashenensa. Nan campus bebia Italy national team ni gina no difficult. Difficult because one missing out on 2 World Cups. Open one of the countries of my successful World Cup mupa untimi money Italy film. But the 2018 World Cup obo playoff against Sweden in 2017 when Timi qualify one Kobe. 2022 World Cup Oman Sayan qualify. Yabo qualifiers to 2026. The first 2 games that's Spalletti in a coach. Or winning Bako and no lose 3-0 against team my friend is Norway. Tomaba drew a tight corner. Omube here coach or what track record. Not the rest of the matches and a possible while we need in another qualify. Italy for 1-2 Omonia. Oman phobia say Ivan Gennaro Gattuso. And people were shocked. People were surprised because Papa Ninya Jumabi was our track record now with media handle team no. But of far team no. The performance he has shown. How our putting guys need together. Pep talk or the man rant and the performance of more than a park has been good. The 4 matches our national team in the Aboni in our 4 straight wins. No more experience in Impo at a point. And to me, they haven't qualified for the World Cup yet because Norway no any president to ready to Babe Lucy guard. They are on form. That is very true. But there are times a task na ye de be mauno. Ebimpo wuntimi miti. But ye share juma wo ye any kwanye fast wa miti task na. At least yetimi pardon no. And I feel say juma na wa so far. Any baby or the team that Baba Bedu no, he's done very well. Now, home game against Norway would prove very important in their qualifying series. Senenia brace up so ye bibi ma team na. Sa game no necessary watch. And one player so me Bonabaso has been retegi. Ken, moving from the Italian Serie A to Saudi Arabia. The Italians were in Turkey because finally Omaba Benya striker Wabaji the Gokin the Capo Cannonier Award Italy. Now you do Baba qualifies the World Cup Boyano. Also will Saudi Arabia. Omu feels the Saudi Arabian League in the form. And Tiaquadari Kwan Modi Mobeko from Untimimo. But the performance has since of course Saudi Arabia still now keeping it up. Actually the kind of competitive nature of Saudi Arabian League in the year. Anytime he gets the opportunity to feature for Italy, goals upon goals with good performances, and all the more. And yesterday's game was no exception. 2 goals, and share. And the second goal, Angela no Gina, anybody your Kelly born share, it was super. So far, 6 matches rather, and our boy in the qualifying series for Italy. Watch 5 goals and 4 assists from 6 games, 9 goal contribution. And strike or Saudi Arabia, none depending GDA. Just to obey me, maintaining the form, but he's doing it for the Italian national team. And Gattuso Juma Oye, and Retegi, how he's leading the squad and the lines ever filled in the sono, almost a fataba. So, even if they don't qualify, no more keep up with this same performance. To me, I feel they have done enough for the Italian national team. Ken.
Merci about Subi Meno, a biggie. But in a Uraku, a Mante, our top, a radio.